Dudes, what's up? How you guys doing? We have another one. We have a Sentra. We're going to be doing 20% on all the sides, the rear sides, and then we're going to be doing 5% on the back window. So let me just make sure everything is up. And we'll get this camera on, and we're going to get going. I think that should be good. One concern is battery right now. Ooh. Ooh. It's going to be a little iffy today. I guess the Malibu? That's a good guess. I saw T-Town said nothing. He loves tinting nothing. No, but these are great. Yeah, we're a little that battery thing, you know. I got so many of them. Don't do much with them. So let me plug this in. 2 seconds. Click this GoPro on, and then we'll get going. So how you guys doing? April Fools. Afternoon. Yeah, we don't have very many afternoon ones. I usually like 10's just practical. Afternoon is probably better though. All right. Baseboards. What baseboards? Yeah, things are going good. Trying to keep busy. And juggling a few things. I was just messing around with Shopify merchants, Google merchant stuff. I don't know. It's got a way for me to put the stuff on... Oh, yeah, we did those. That's right. Yeah, these. Sorry, those. That. Yeah, it's very clean. Okay, so we're going to check. We might run into a little problem. Let me know on microphone. What's the problem? No, like batteries. Batteries. I'll have to figure that out when it comes to it. USB-C to USB-C cable. Is that this one? No, that's not. I don't know. It's one of these somewhere. All right, we're going to get going, though. Shut up. That's goofy. It's always weird when, like, a headphone's plugged in, but it doesn't actually charge. All right, let me know. Fuck. How does that happen? Anyways. Hello, Tint Studio. How can I help you? Yeah, the RAV4. Uh-huh. Yeah, so we're in Sterling Heights off of Mound Road near 18 Mile. We could definitely get you scheduled. Were we talking about Thursday, tomorrow morning at 10? Well, so do you want to do the full windshield, or you just want to do the sides and the rear?
I do want to do the windshield. Do you know what? Do you have recommendation where like half from the open stuff?
Yeah, as far as shades go, with the full windshield, I usually would recommend a little bit lighter then. Doing like a 50% on the windshield and then maybe like a 35% on the front doors would probably be a lot more low key.
I mean, I kind of like a little darker because I have a currently I have an all black style BMW with like 5% all the way around and then 15 in the front. You know?
Sure. Sure, then we could do 20 or something like that. It's the lighter you go, the safer you are. So that would be my recommendation if you want to go a little safer. But I mean, it's your car. We can do whatever you want to do.
So I was thinking maybe like 5% all the back ones and the driver's passenger maybe 20 and maybe the windshield maybe like 35.
Yeah, we could do that.
Whatever the percentage works for.
Alrighty. And 10 o'clock works good for tomorrow morning.
What's the prices? Just to.
So it'd be for all of that. It would in the standard film it would be $450.
And what were the other films you said you had?
I have carbon and ceramic. Carbon would be $550 and ceramic would be $700.
In Michigan, would I need ceramic or the other one?
Well, the cooler it gets, the less it's needed. So what it really does is it helps block out a lot of heat from the vehicle. So, as far as clarity, as far as looks, I mean, all of them look good and all of them are built to last. It's really about just the added heat. It'd be easiest to show you in person at the appointment what the differences are between the individual films. So you don't have to commit to a particular shade or film type, just that just what type of work that we're doing on the vehicle and go from there. And then we can pick out shades and stuff like that.
So the other extra upcharge is basically because of the material, not like labor or anything? Or
Yeah, it's material.
which would you recommend?
I mean, well, I always like the ceramic, but if you want the best bang for your buck, it's gonna go. Oh, am I on speaker or something?
No, not the best thing. You're not on speaker.
Hang on one second. Sorry. Oh, it's coming back on my phone. Okay, sorry. Yeah, if you want the best bang for your buck, the carbon gives you about a 50% heat reduction. And it's kind of that sweet spot. So it'd be $450 in the entry, it'd be $550 for ceramic, so a $100 bump up in that, in material.
Cool. Okay. Do you guys, is it like a drop out, like, is there a waiting area for anything, or?
Yeah, we got a waiting area. So with the full windshield, though, it'll take about 4 hours, but you can drop it off or wait. Either one's up to you.
Do you guys have a shuttle service?
No, we don't do shuttles, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna. Okay. Let me see if I can get a ride because I do work from home and if it's 4 hours, then I'm gonna have to try to come back here.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. So to confirm the appointment, though, I'll text you a link to our booking page. It's a $40 deposit to confirm the appointment. That goes right towards the balance. But once I get that, you'd be all set for tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Do you guys take credit card?
Yeah, you can do credit card.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Well, I'll text you that link over there, and then if you have any more questions, let me know.
All right, cool. Yeah,
Alright. Alright, I'll see ya. Alrighty. Interesting timing on that one. 1 second. Rev 4 morning at 10 a.m. Deposit. All right, now let's see if we get a deposit or not. I'm having some battery issues with things right now, so I'm trying to figure this out too. What is it? Okay, so I should be getting something. Someone's walking in and out of your garage. Yeah, I know. It's Jackie's washing the blazer, thankfully. There we go. Okay. We're good. We can go. We're probably gonna have a couple more little battery issues, but we'll make the best of it. Oh yeah, things can't charge fast enough is my problem. So I set my headset down and I have other stuff to do. So if I forget to plug in the battery and then eventually I forget to plug in the backup battery, that's when everything goes wrong. And then everything has to sit on a charger for quite a long time. Do we want to confuse people today? Is that what we want to do? I think so. We'll use red today, just because it's confusing. Get this off. So we're gonna get going on here. But yeah, might have that one tomorrow morning. We'll see. Maybe not. What is it with the left ear? Out of sheer frustration, I'm gonna go buy my old headphones, I swear. Red tape. Is that red tape? Yeah, so it's the same as the white. It's sheathing tape. It just comes in 2 different colors. The white I was using yesterday is a 3-inch wide roll. So I like 2-inch better, but I didn't have that kind in anything but a 3-inch. So we used it yesterday for kicks and giggles. But today, because I had a rep come out, he brought a couple of samples. This is non-labeled tuck tape. It's like legitimately tuck tape though, which is the cool part. Tuck tape is just a Canadian brand though. Are you considering hiring any tinters at your shop? In order to do that, I gotta stay busy enough for more than myself. So I'd consider it eventually. But this has also been a very different place from the beginning. The real goal was to be able to build a tint business so I could do do them alongside my live streams for the most part. So there's definitely times in the summertime when I was scheduled out a couple weeks, but then I knew fall and winter are coming. So I'd be at that point where I wouldn't do it until I'd be sure, and it's just, you know, you start getting booked out 3-4 weeks. That's when it's really time. Because then you know when it eventually slows down, there's still going to be work enough for both people. That's the way the business always goes. It'll be extra busy, not necessarily just even in the summertime, but it'll be extra busy just random times in the year. You know, you have tax season, you have springtime, you do have summertime, and then it'll get busy, it'll slow down, it'll get busy and slow down. What you hope is that year over year, that basically grows over last year, so don't necessarily beat yourself up if it's slow, especially when you're new. It's like, people don't know anything about you. They're still learning. So the longer that you're around, the more referrals, the more you're going to be found. Just kind of how it goes. Where do you get your glass board? Glass board came with the shop. Hey, remember I mentioned your own tape? Finally, we agree on 10% royalty. Yeah, that's not how that works. No, I'm kind of frustrated with the tape landscape a little bit. I don't need my own. I want a good option that I can offer. And the problem is trying to source one that I can offer. That's actually really annoyingly difficult. So then you go down that rabbit hole so far that you're just like, so you'd think it'd be as easy as calling up a distributor and bringing it in. But sheathing tape, especially good ones, are in kind of a weird category. So they're in like the building supplies. Usually bought by construction companies that are ordering them by the pallet. And pricing is also like, you know, it's for installation, not necessarily retail. So you're literally going up against, like unintentionally going up against like the big hardware stores that already offer it. That's like, okay. So there's quite a few smaller products that are, you know, not a big deal to pick up, and then there's some of these unique things that are like, oh, okay, that's annoying. These new tapes are good. I used to use duct tape, but it was a little thick. Yeah, duct tape's a little much. There's no option in Lowe's and Home Depot. Expensive. Yeah, they're expensive, and they've gotten more expensive. So the annoying part too is like we don't necessarily need a sheathing tape built to be a sheathing tape, but we need a tape that acts like it, where this stuff, the way it's made, it's supposed to go on a building, a house, something, and then it's a permanent application. All right. There's a generic clear one that's a little cheaper. What's it called? I always appreciate tips like that. What's window tint? This is window tint. One second. As sticky as GeoShield is, just use that for tape. Yeah, an ideal world. Just get it, cut it down. Have them cut it down to 2-inch rolls, right? Carbon, Pro Classic. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, that's 20. Where's the other ones? Are they sitting over there?
RGC Super Chatted $9.99. Tint dude, get her done, you can do it. We believe in you.
Super chat? What's that? RGC with the 10. Tint dude, get her done. You can do it. We believe in you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna set that one aside for now. I don't know if this is okay or not, but it's just looking a little textured and there's a line. I don't know if I got a roll mixed up or not. Because Geo sent out class film before. I just want to make sure. I don't want any issues, so let's open up a new one. But RGC with the 10, thank you. Tint Dude. Tint Dude's actually an old window tint forum site that was popular before all the Facebook groups. There we go. That looks better. It might have been fine, but I don't like taking that little chance there. Alright, we'll put that down. Any tips on creasing the windshield, top left and right corners? Yeah, watch the videos for that. Honestly, like, there's not much I can say, but I talk about it an awful lot in all the videos that I post about shrinking. I always show the top corners. Watch those and pay attention. You can readjust. You can basically start shrinking it, readjust your side edge a little bit. Like, pick it up, lay it down flat. You're just compressing too much film together in the top corners rather than shrinking it. That's why it's creasing. So the more you can kind of distribute that out over a wider area, the less it's going to crease on you. I don't think this back window is going to be very curved either, so we'll see. Do you put the roll against your leg when you're unrolling it? No, I put it against my belly. But yeah, same basic thing. So it's not all the time, but whenever you're cutting it off or letting it rest, yeah, you got to kind of rest it against something. You can also grip it really hard. Tighten the roll up and then grip it really hard. That'll help. But when I'm doing that on Pro Classic, no problem. When I'm doing that on C2, if it's a full roll, that gets a little bit harder to do. That roll is a little slick. Doesn't stick together as much. If you ever get a car with junk inside. This is window tinting, of course. Typically, the less you charge, the more crap you're going to have in a car, too. This one is, like, freaking clean, though. Mad props for this one. But yeah, I think I'm more spoiled at this point. Most people, like, even that truck we had the other day, he told me, he was like, man. So he was the guy that came out and quoted our pavers. And that's his truck that he takes around. So he's got samples, sandbags, all sorts of stuff. And he actually cleaned that hole out. He was like, I didn't know if you were going to stream it or not. So I cleaned out the back. And I was like, damn. I'm spoiled. I didn't really think that'd be a side effect of it. I'm so used to, like, and it doesn't bother me if a car's got some random junk, that's fine. No worries. It's all good. We'll get there. The biggest thing is just no tint on the windows. Everything else can be dealt with. Ooh, this is the... Okay, so this is a Sentra, and it's beeping at me. So, I'm a little surprised. The Ultima, I can do the push button. It'll stay on indefinitely. It'll stay on until the battery dies. Most Nissans, you hit the button, they got like a 10-minute timer before they shut off. Another reason why that Ultima is the best tint class car ever. Beep. Beep. Unless we leave that door shut, then it's not going to make much of a sound. I love how easy those ones are to tint. Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward. Should have wiped this one off first. Hold it until it goes green. That goes for Chevy. That goes for Chevys, not Nissans, unfortunately. Yeah. So there's two modes. There's always like an accessory and an ignition mode. With Nissans, it's not holding the button. That's not going to do it. You press it once for accessory, you press it twice for ignition, and then they just shut off. All the GMs are you press and hold them, kind of like a computer power button. If you ever want to like, your computer's locking up and you just need to shut it off, or your phone. At least you used to be able to. On iPhones, I don't think you can anymore. But you used to be able to just hold the power button or hold two buttons together. That's kind of like physical safeties when software inevitably fails. They usually build that into a lot of devices. I heard there was a competition, like the actual tinting competition, IWFA one, and they had Malibus one year, and they kept shutting off every 5 minutes, and apparently nobody knew that you could press and hold the power button. That one, I was like, ugh, I wish I was there. That one kind of blew my mind. And you have a room full of... Yeah. That would make a number of problems. Because you have two people per vehicle. Somebody's sitting on the passenger side, and then the drivers, then, like, they gotta reach through and turn the car back on. I'm gonna cut this here. I'm surprised it's still warm enough in Michigan. Yeah, it's actually in the like mid 70s right now. It's nice. How do you prevent ceramic from sliding when you're double cutting it? Is it liner to liner? That only happened to me when I had like way too much soap. Some people double cut, they'll put tint side to tint side, and then some people put liner to liner. I mean, I would think the liner to liner would slide, but I think it also has to do with sticking to the glass, so I do it tint to tint, but it still slides. Yeah, I'm not sure then. I don't know, just give it a couple hard passes and wait a couple seconds too. When you're selling the cutters on your website, they're on the website, 313tint.com. 313tint.com. There it is. Why'd you change it? So you still can get there from mytintstuff.com. Everybody in the 313. There you go. I've got an Eminem song. Yep, I've got an Eminem song. That helps explain it. Too bad I can't play it on here. Okay, so I never liked my Tint stuff. It was Tint stuff because that was the channel name. And years ago, I missed out on picking up the domain. I was thinking about it. It was available. 6 months later, I went to buy it, and then it was gone. Once it's gone, it's up to whoever owns it. So I was trying to change it to a Tint Studio thing, but Tint Studio's taken a couple of different ways. Trying to get in contact with those people. One of them looks dead. I don't know. I really shouldn't be talking about it when you're trying to actually buy a domain. But it's not that big of a deal. So then I was headed into work one day, and I was like, 313 Tint. That's got to be taken already. And I searched, and it was available. I was like, what? Really? It's really strong because it's short. It's very simple, easy to type. So a lot of things are linked anyway, so it doesn't matter as much anymore. Or Google's so good at search that, again, it doesn't matter as much anymore. But I don't ever like hyphenated things. I don't like improper spellings. I don't like when you have to explain it. So yeah, I switched it up. It's 313. So throw your hands up and get shot. Where is it? There it is. No. Oh, it's here. I love being a mod in your group. You like extra work? No, the group has been really good. It is a super busy community. And it seems like the bigger that it's gotten, like it's reached this point where generally most people are just kind of nice. I mean, occasionally you have that person, but that seems to be less and less. Good. Where did I put this? Put this over there. I'm pretty sure my other one just fell off. People have learned. I don't even know how that's possible. I mean, like, yeah, people can learn, but so many people are getting added every week. And it was definitely like 20,000 people ago. It's still kind of iffy. But yeah, it's been really good. With like not hardly any policing, which is not something I ever want to do. It's just like be respectful. That's the main thing. Like I don't care if you want to talk shit about a film, by all means, go ahead. But if you want to clown on other people, that's where we draw the line. All right. This was warmer a little while ago. So we are going to prep this. So we use a blade, clay bar, a couple of rags. That should do it. I think I have everything else. And do we sit down? There's the sprayer. Make sure that we're on new soap from yesterday. Oh, got that 10-minute timer. I went to the dollar store to try and find a squeegee like the one you have. Couldn't find one. You know what people told me in the group? They said the gas station. So the gas station might have a good one too. Or they'd say, like, it was just funny the way that they talked. They're like, the gas station as in everybody's got the same gas station. You took all of them. I take all of them when I can. 100%. Because, like, I'll be on the lookout for a different one. Something that's slightly more sustainable. Because right now, we're scrappy on it. We have to be. But somebody that's going to order, like, somebody that's going to stock those products too, just kind of like the sheathing tape, they're going to stock, like, the whole lineup. Squeegees are going to be, like, one of the last thing on their list, if not the last. They have scrubbers, mops, brooms. It's like, oh, I guess we got a shower squeegee too that we should probably carry. Where I'm like, yeah, can I just have, like, 500... back window squeegees, please? No? Okay. All right. How often do you change out your clay bars? So I'll change them out when I inevitably put it on something that it sticks to so bad that it's just drives me crazy to go clean it. So if I leave it on a rag overnight and that rag wasn't damp, then it'll, like, especially on a warm day, then I'll do it. I'm doing this way too many times, but it'll be worth it. There we go. Do you blade every window now? I used to blade at every window. I don't anymore, but on this one, I don't know. I just am. It was there. I picked him up. There's one at Home Depot. Yeah, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, some of those places will pick them up. Walmart, Meijer, like, so you can try and find them in your local area. Just a matter if they actually keep them stocked or not. Because it depends. Sometimes I'll find them all the time, and sometimes I couldn't ever find them. But I get asked a lot, and when I get asked a lot about a particular thing, then I want to put them up there, so. That is nice. Is it necessary to blade? No, not necessarily new cars, but it depends. You got to use your own best judgment. So on most new cars, there'll at least be lower corner stickers that you have to take off. So you'll at least do that much. But some dealerships use really bad dealer stickers, and then they'll also use temporary tags on the back that leave glue behind. So you just got to keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. And then inevitably you have a car that just wasn't, like where the glass was just poorly made. So sometimes just scrape black bits off of it. But it's easy to see and feel that kind of stuff. So you can take a couple seconds, wet down the window, wipe your hand over it and feel for it. But if you just like are just going, then you can take a blade, scrape the window, and just be extra sure without really like it. Yeah, you don't need to spend much time making that decision. How's the weather? Oh, it's really nice today. Probably won't be very good for long. What do you think about metal shanks? I thought it was a cool idea, but I probably wouldn't actually like to use it because this is where I'm going to need it the most. Right like that, it's going to literally scrape up against the tint. Anything metal scraping up against the glass, just be extra careful. And I've never actually had one of these shanks break, so I don't really have a reason for a metal one. But if you're in the market, search palette knives, and you'll find all sorts of them. I saw a guy double shrink. Huh? Double cut. Oh, double cut before separating is encountered in double cut before separating the film. Seems like you'd be molding the film the wrong way. Are you talking about shrinking or cutting? So you can double cut, you can double shrink. It's not gonna hurt it. It's not. How can I actually explain this? The film isn't really like bending like a metal. It's plastic. So when you shrink that film together, you can bend it one way or the other way, so it wouldn't matter. You're molding it to the shape, but like plastic is very flexible, so it works. Let's get this over there. The film's the same on both sides. Yes and no. Just know that you can do it. You have the polyester tint, and then on the other side is the glue, but, you know, when you're shrinking it, all you're doing is getting the film to pull together. It's not really like molding like a metal would. But it looks that way because you have it pressed up against the glass. that, flush that out. Do you charge taxes? I just factor everything in the price. So it's just kind of, that's what it is out the door with all that accounted for. Rather than, like, I always hated the surprises. I mean, it's definitely expected in this state, but at the same time, it's just like, I charge $290, but that's including everything, so. That just helps make it simple. I'm a big fan of doing everything that I can to make things simple. Good, 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 good. Ah, 10 minutes. But you should check with the CPA though. That's what I tell myself. Huh? Oh, that is that. Usually they just spring forward. I'll have to check to see if we got a deposit for tomorrow. That would be cool. I've got a vet coming in on Saturday too. It's the C7, so nothing crazy. Not as crazy as the C6, and not as cool as the C8. Still haven't done a C8. I've seen them. Haven't done one. I don't know. That just is what it is. I did a C8, very straightforward. Well, that's cool. I'm jealous. But if you'd ask me what I'd rather do on a daily basis, it'd probably be this. This Malibu's just real straightforward. I know what I'm getting into. Towel. It'd be cool to do a 67 Barracuda. No, thank you. I can guarantee you 100%. If I do it, I wouldn't be doing it live. Some tinter said the tint near the engine would melt. I think it would be worth finding out. I doubt it, because tint can take a lot of heat, but that's when it's up against glass. So, like, the glass honestly acts like a heat sink. So, if you take a torch and you just shoot it on the glass, yeah, you're gonna fry the film. I think. I suppose we should try it. But haven't you guys ever seen, like, there's this interesting trick. Like you can take a paper cup, you can fill it with water, and you can try and burn it, but it won't light on fire or burn a hole in it. The water like keeps it from doing that. So the tint pressed up on the glass, like the glass acts like a heat sink. So I'd expect to be totally fine. I could understand the concern, but it should be fine. Well, this is curved. This is a little more curved than I thought. Nothing crazy, but I should find a cable too. I'm gonna run out of battery here, I know it. No, aux cable. iPhone cable. You know what? So this changeover drives me crazy. I can appreciate USB-C to USB-C connectors, but at the same time, a USB-C to USB-C, here, we're gonna go into back room. We never go back here. Oh God, I had him clean this up. It'd be somewhere over here. Probably in this box. Probably in this box with lots of cables. No, that's internet stuff. Baggy? No. Oh, this is gonna be the worst if I can't actually find one. Alright, I gotta keep looking. Yeah. Cat 6. Not cat 7. Aha! This one. Okay, this is what I need. Where you keep this safe with all the cash? My wallet. Alright, hang on one second. Let me put this on. Canon. What's the skull? I don't know. What's back there? Let me hook this up. Hopefully this will work. Oh. This ain't gonna work. Oh well, we'll just keep going and then figure it out when it happens. Oh, boy, oh boy. Yeah, that room was filled with a bunch of crap and it was pretty messy. It's a little better right now. Well, it's much better right now. But there was like a lot of random bricks. So when I moved in, there was like they just stored a bunch of like landscaping brick in there. And I wasn't gonna use it. So it was just sitting in there. And I was gonna just, I guess, toss it. But then Jack and his grandpa came and they picked it up over the weekend. So now I have space in there, which is super cool. Did you ever worry about the signals? No, there's probably way more that you should be worried about. Just living. No, it's fine. I just heard something about airplanes though. You guys should look into airplane radiation if you want to not sleep at night. Like the 5G tower. That shit's fine, man. Oh yeah, no, that's about it. I wasn't being serious. No, it looks crazy. I know that. I felt crazy as soon as I put this thing on. But all the voices that I hear when I have it on let me know it's okay. That's you guys. I hear you guys. You got Chernobyl in your head. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, I should have got another mic. I'm gonna have to do that. Or no, I could hook up the other battery. I might be able to do that. Okay. I think I've got like an annoying plan for when this mic battery dies. Just let me know when it does. 'Cause it'll happen. Boom mic over the car. No, it's gonna be too messy. As soon as I get in the car, you're not really gonna be able to hear me. And at the same time, you might be surprised how close shotgun microphones are actually to the people that use them. That's something I didn't realize. If you put a microphone more than like 2 feet away from your face, it starts to sound like garbage. And that goes with like pretty much any microphone. They all put them, like the best audio that you can get is just a lav mic or one of those podcaster mics and put it as close to your mouth as you possibly can. Turn the gain down as low as you can. Boom, you got good audio. Anything else farther away, it just won't sound good. NFL dish. No, the little one that I got is super nice. It just doesn't have a battery that you can replace. So you got to plug it in. And there's a transmitter and a receiver. And I can leave the receiver plugged in. But the transmitter, I mean, I can plug that in too. I just need a power bank to do it. And all my parts are tied up. You'll see. You'll see what I have to do when it goes dead. Boom. But I was good 2 days in a row. It was just the third day. You know, I'd finish the car, sit down in front of the computer, take the headset off, and then if I don't immediately plug it in, then sometimes I forget. And then I come in the next day and I am about to stream, and then all of a sudden I realize, oh, everything is dead. No fun. No fun. So we'll think really, we'll think really hard. We'll figure it out. There's it's, I can buy another set and a multi-charger, and then I never have this problem again. But it's like another $200 or $300 depending on what setup I want to get, plus the charger. And I already have the microphone that works, and as long as I'm smart, what I have will always work. And then days like this happen, and I go, I should buy it. What does this even say? TEF seal certified. You know, if you ask, I'd recognize that logo, that blue and yellow thing. But if you asked me what it actually said, I don't think I've ever paid attention to what it said. Dang, Nissan, why'd you have to put it over this area? Let me go get something. No. We got a spray bottle somewhere. Apparently I don't. All right. Oh. Just put it away. That's all I need. Much better. Ew. Do you think the Workhorse 2... It's $600 more? What's the price of it? I thought it was only... What's the Workhorse 1 versus the Workhorse 2? To be honest, for back windows and quarter windows, or just general, no, you'd be fine with the 1. If I'm trying to pick between the two, don't get me wrong, I like the Workhorse 2. It's a better feeling machine, and the cut groove is in a better spot. But as far as actual usability and pattern quality and warranty and stuff like that, no, it's just gonna mostly be like a superficial difference because you don't need extra rollers. The rollers are in the same spot. No, you'd be totally fine. Oh, they changed it then. It used to be $2,000. So that was like a $400 gap. Now it's a $600 gap. Ah, gotcha. Okay. No, I'd get the Workhorse 1. You'd be totally fine with it. You'd feel slightly better with the Workhorse 2, but in actual day-to-day use, that machine looks nicer there, but in actual day-to-day use, the menus are the same, the buttons are the same, the way that it cuts, the patterns, as far as I can tell, everything's the same except the beefed up build quality, so I like that about it. But with using the two, and if you put one pattern upside the other pattern, no name. Or you cover up both machines, so I couldn't know which one's which. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I like my workhorse one. I had less problems getting that one up and running. But yeah, on that one, so they're working on a Workhorse 3, and what I've heard is they are addressing a lot of the main things that I've been complaining about, and that's menus, that's roller positions. Like, you do a couple of those tweaks, and all of a sudden, you have like very little reason to then even get a graph tech. Because graph tech is like, this is nice. It's not needed, but graph tech's like a one-button setup. You load your film in, you line it up, you click start, and then it tells you how big the roll is and where the end is, and then it gives you a start position. But Workhorse 1, Workhorse 2, it's got the manual setups, and so every time, like, you're telling essentially what feels like a CNC thing where your start point is, and you click start, or you click enter, and that is your start point. And then if it spits more film out, and you click start again, it would then backfeed to the original start point, unless you told it to get a new start point. So that's where you run into these little issues of like, I just have to babysit it more and think a little bit more every time I go to use it. So that's like a minor software change in my opinion. As soon as they do stuff like that, I don't have a good reason to get a graph tech other than like if I'm spending a lot on a machine and I've got a good company, sometimes you just want to go for the best machine out there. Come on, why are you sticking? There we go. Ha-ha! It shut off again. But we done. My mic's still going too? That's cool. Perfect, thank you. That's what I wanted, your input. Cool, man. Glad I could help. I'll still hand cut doors. Back windows and quarters. Yeah, it's really helpful for back windows and quarters. And with the right software, like it's great for doors too. So give the doors a fair shake, but it really depends on where your business is at. So you guys see me harp on it a lot. If you're more inclined to be high production, getting more cars out, the nitpicky differences that I have sometimes will get overlooked by production. So the top edges are decent, but sometimes you just cut them out and they're short. And when they're short, that drives me absolutely crazy. But it's funny when you're working for a shop and they're slamming so many cars for you to do, you don't even have time to complain anymore. You're just like, oh, fuck it. There you go. Or when you're working with like a small team of people, right? Like you have resources like, oh shit, these doors aren't gonna work. Can you make these wider? You tell that to the person that's handling the plotter. Or then you just grab your knife and hand cut them yourself and you keep moving. But ultimately you should have somebody, like the more you use the plotter for doors, the more you learn okay, this car, they're a little short here, I can make them wider. This car, you know, and you start making these little edits. And for some shops, like when time is really important, those little edits and still the quality of work that you're putting out with it is still decent enough, and then you just like, you keep going. The only people that are really looking at the top edge of the tint are the people in the Facebook groups. I mean, unless it's really bad. There's always like this room for margin error. If you're gonna use it every day, your business might as well invest in it and buy a better one like GraphTech. See, I'd agree with that, but I've used the Workhorse one, and I'm kind of like, yeah, it's got those little like creature comfort things, but the difference being like, all right, I'm looking at spending, you know, $1,500 on a machine, or spending $5,000 on a machine. I'm going to spend $1,500 on it. If it's decent enough, I can work with those quirks, because they're pretty friggin' small. There's some things like that I'll absolutely take the shortcut on. Especially because they get a 5-year warranty behind it too, which is kind of like, oh, okay. Wasn't expecting that. So 5 years from now, if I have a problem with it, which, you know, reach out to them, see what they say, if you can swap out a part or something. Like, you'd hate to have a dead machine after 5 years, but at the same time, 5 years later, all of a sudden your business should be in a different place than it was before. But it's better to have a decent or the best, because maybe you lose time. Workhorse 2 works good. I'm using the 45-degree blade, and it cuts the tint better than the 25-degree blade. Interesting. I always hear 25-degree blades, yeah. Interesting. It's better to have decent or the best, because maybe you lose time on the not so expensive ones. Yeah, so those little fiddly differences, you're right. Over time, like I think part of this is just, I started out on a GraphTech, and I pretty much went, like, I was on a GraphTech because that's just what the shop had. And I didn't know anything else. And then after years and years of using that, backtracking and going to a Workhorse 1 or 2, because plotters weren't my main thing anyways. Like, I've worked a lot of different situations. I've worked with a team at a shop. I've done mobile. I've worked with exclusively plotters, and I've done exclusively hand cutting. So like I've just done things a bunch of different ways. And the handful of features that you're missing on a GraphTech is really about just training yourself to accommodate for it. But yeah, I did a little trick too that they told me not to post a video about now, which I'm kind of annoyed. Filed the rollers down. But then you have to, turns out you have to use all the rollers if you file the rollers down a little bit. Good? Thank you. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, man. I should shut this door. Let me grab key. You don't want to lock. This will be my first plotter, first time set up and use. Yeah, and just know it'll probably come with some frustrations, and everybody's plotters do. I have had just as many cut issues on a GraphTech as I've had on those machines. Honestly, the Workhorse 1 was like one of the fastest machines that I had up and running. One little thing too, believe it or not, Gorilla Tape over your Teflon strip works great. Like, no joke. Gorilla, I'll show you guys the one I have. New rollers and blades. Check out Plotter Depot. I mean, they sell Graphtex too. They sell Graphtec, they sell Jag, they sell lots of parts. So it's not just like those are at Plotter Depot. It's like it's genuinely a really good budget option to get into plotters at this point in time. It's satisfying watching you tint. Thank you. Maybe because things are going well. No disasters today so far, but that's when I jinx myself. Yeah, this is a little rounded. Nothing crazy, but a little bit. Today's not Friday. Today feels like Friday. It's Wednesday. Okay, so we are, oh yeah, we're doing 20 on the quarter windows, so I'll put that there. And then we're doing 5 on the back window. We're doing 20 on everything else. This guy right here. So, a couple more seconds. We'll let this dry. What time is it? 3? Oh, nice. Yeah, yep. I agree. Oh, yeah. No, 100%. You're right. Why spend more if you don't need to? I totally would go this way if I were doing 1 to 2 cars a day, but if I was putting 5 to 8 cars a day. Yep. That's the big difference. Yeah, if you're a shop looking to get a machine, like overspending on something that is made for the job generally has extra benefits that you won't even necessarily think of. 100%. So I'll do the same, but I think a good amount of people too are looking at this like they do a couple cars a day, they're looking to get their feet wet with a plotter, they're not quite sure what to go with, and it's just surprisingly compared to both of them, or comparing both of them to each other, it's genuinely a damn good option. But yeah, that Graphtec will honestly last forever as far as I can tell. I think, so the original ones, like this is, I think they got the Graphtec back in like 2006 or 7. And then I didn't start using it until, like you saw it in my videos that I made in 2011, but we used it, like it sat around for a while, then we started using it, like when I became a tinter, we started using it a little later, and they've been using it 6 days a week for the past, 15 years now. It's crazy. FC 7000 still going. Thanks for the little whistler. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, we've been throwing them in all the orders. Tint had a super cool little chiseler collab. Two to three cars a day. Yeah. Man, that's where I'm at. I used to do a lot more. I enjoyed not tinting that many cars in a day. I tell you, the easiest way to make more money, though, is just tint more cars in a day. So, but I'm real nitpicky about the work that I do here. I can tell you, there's definitely levels of nitpicky that's just excessive for like an average job. That's just how it is. Like, there's certain price brackets and cars that you'll do. You'll put all this extra detail and time and effort into it. You give it to the client, and they're just, oh, thanks. They hop in their car. They don't even look at it. And then you're just like, oh, you're not going to walk around it for 5 minutes? No, thanks. I trust you. Have a good one. Oh, okay. All right. Top corners. So somebody was asking about top corners earlier. We're in the last corner, but so what you'll do is you can lightly tack down the side. This one has a nice gradual curve, so not much film is bulking up here. But still, what I'll do on pretty much every back window or windshield is I'll start the shrink, and then you almost get this this area that'll start to swoop out this way. You can pick it up, set it back down, and kind of reorient that side. And that'll help you shrink out that corner. What's the little whistler good for? So it's a touch-up tool. It comes from the little chiseler, which is not a touch-up tool that you ever see me use. I actually go for gator blades instead. Do you think I'd ask them about PPF? Should be fine. Vinyl, 100%. It's a vinyl machine. That's why the rollers are in weird spots. That's why there's so many rollers. You can have as many rollers as you want on vinyl. It'll pull the whole thing through. On window tint, you just need the sides. Why did my camera freeze then? There we go. Sorry. So yeah, you have all these extra rollers here. And I have them all out right now because I filed down my rollers so I can use all the rollers. But with window tint, you only need one roller on the left and one roller on the right and a matching roller underneath it. And that's what feeds your film back and forth. Oh, I should have picked that up while I was over there. I'm surprised that some shops get away with bad work. Yeah, the level of crappy work out there can be pretty crazy. See, what's cool is like any of you guys that are hanging out here generally care about like the level of work that you're doing. That's above a lot of people that just treat it like a job. Different blade angles for different material. Yeah, it's good to have a different blade holder for each different material. That way you can just swap it out, change your settings. So like on a GraphTech, if you're using PPF and window tint, and you have a few different types of window tint, I'm going to be changing my settings pretty often. So with the GraphTech, you have presets, and I think it's a simple thing. It's a memory for your pressure and speed, and you could easily change that with presets. Like you just set it, and then like you have a blade for like your ceramic, you have a holder for your vinyl. So like I have to change the pressure when I switch from the 2 mil ceramic to the 1.5 mil carbon or dyed. So on a preset, I just hit one button. On the other ones, I just gotta press and hold a button. So it's like small differences there. But it is very, very helpful to have something like that. But that's why like, I've basically told Plotter Depot all this, and the next machine that they're working on, they're building it from the ground up to be a less expensive tint plotter. It's gonna have basically all of that. And it's just rearranging stuff, which is pretty crazy. It's not hard to just create some presets and some software. Honestly, don't know if you were this way, but Monday I work for tinting in the shop. I don't put bad work, but I definitely don't give as much of attention as I give to my customers. Yep, I know what that's like. A lot of times it's from the environment that you're in. Like shops that I've tinted for, so this is window tint companies, and just unassociated businesses, so like glass shops, auto accessories companies, like they're generally pretty clueless to the tint side of things, even when you try and explain it. So like when you're trying to explain stuff to the sales guy, and he only like half listens, and then keeps making the same mistakes over again, you just start rolling your eyes. You're just like, oh, fuck it, whatever. Here's your dumb tint job, go away. Like, it makes you sour. You have like those personal standards, but like it's hard to care a lot when nobody else at a shop seems to care. And then it's just like, oh, whatever. Here you go. I'm out. See ya. Do you know when the 3 is going to be released? No, I would shoot them a message though. You can ask them, 100%. They got super nice chat. Just be like, hey. Matt said not to mention this, but he said you have a Workhorse 3 coming. Any ETAs on that? They wouldn't be mad. It's fine. I think it's super cool that they're doing something like that. I would never have thought to see something like that, because plotters have been such a, you know, you have a handful of different plotters out there, and you have your known brands like Jag, Vinyl Express, Roland, and it's like plotters have always been very expensive, and the cheaper vinyl machines was, you know, it's hard to just, you know, tint is picky. It's thin, so your tolerances have to be close. So for the longest time, we all just assumed that these cheap machines can't do it, and I think for a time they couldn't do it. But now, as things progress a lot, all of a sudden, you know, oh, I can make those work. So I really don't know how cheap that goes, and you really don't know until you buy it for yourself and try it out or take somebody's recommendation. But after seeing the build quality of the Workhorse 1, the rollers are cheaper, the plotter's a little chintzier. Like, you can tell, like, oh, this is made with a budget in mind. Where the Workhorse 2 is like, oh, this actually feels pretty damn solid. And then you feel a Graph Tech 2, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is quality. Quality parts. And then they have the name behind it. But again, you also have Jag, so like Jag sits in the middle. It's just, you know, same thing goes with film companies and any product line out there. You have your high-end brands. I think where you run into problems is like when these companies get complacent and they don't innovate. So like I have no idea how different a Graph Tech plotter is now versus how it was 10 years ago. I don't know if they're much different. I know Roland innovates like crazy on their printers. I've wanted to buy a Roland printer for a long time. I just don't have a great use for it that makes sense. They're cool machines, man. Just go on like Roland's website and look at all the crazy like labeling machines and printing machines. Like, they got some super cool stuff on there. You want to start a like phone skin printing business, which don't nowadays probably, because that's saturated. Come on, just a little bit. There we go. Best plotter is your hand. Until it gets broken, rip. No, but there's definitely like, so there's more than two. There's two major ways to approach it though. There's like, for a lot of companies or a lot of shops, there is the individual craftsman that puts a lot of detail work, enjoys what he does. I don't know why I said that. He doesn't necessarily have to enjoy it, but you know what I mean? Like, he puts a lot of time, effort, individualizes things. That's a lot. That's basically what I do. And then you have my dad's shop, who is like, still wants to put out good work, but wants to post big numbers at the end of the day. I mean, who doesn't want to post big numbers at the end of the day? But they do it by just ripping through cars all day. So they'll do 10 or 15 cars in a day with a small army of people. So to do that, it's like the level of detail per vehicle doesn't matter as much. The overall quality is still good. They're just going to plot everything out, make some adjustments, and it's just about scale. Cannon. 1 second. I'm not doing too bad. That actually lasted way longer than I thought it was going to. Yeah, the main battery that powers everything died. I got some quarter windows, and then we'll be good. I'll check over this back window though in just a second. What is that coffee? Amazing you can tint and listen while answering questions. I practically hold my breath when I'm gonna lay a back window. All I did was talk on the phone while I'm at work. Every day. If I wasn't on the phone, I was definitely listening to videos and stuff. But I would call Rick, I'd call Patrick, and for like, you know, it just helps pass the time. When you do it for so long, it's just muscle memory. You just get so used to tinting. Do you ever have people complain about the cuts when using the plotter on side windows? Yeah, occasionally. It was mostly the top gap. If there was ever a side gap, we'd rip it off and redo it. That was the other thing. Like, we had that much quality control where it's like the patterns would still turn out good. There might be like, you're pushing it real close on a fair amount of cars where you could see maybe like a slight gap on the seal, maybe a little more on some cars. But the average person isn't necessarily going to see that. Until they're like, you know, settled into their car and whatnot. They drive away. This is on a charger. Huh. I wonder if it can't power both right now. We'll see. No, must have just been a glitch. You would talk to, oh yeah, I talked to Jaybird too. Yeah, we spent a while on the phone too. All right, let me clean this off. It's time. You lose time. The more things you take on, the less time you have. Do you turn on the defrosters to tint the back window? In most cases, no. That's something with Chargers, Challengers, Mustangs, and 300s. This is a thick defroster line problem. I always have to go through that exact car list every time, though, because those are the only ones that I ever do that on. Everything else is totally fine. It's just, for whatever reason, if you pay attention to defroster lines, you ever get a 300, compare it to a regular car, you're like, whoa, these are kind of thick defroster lines. That's exactly why I turn on the defrosters, so. Woo, this this looks good. I got a big bubble there, though, I got to take care of. I need a squeegee. I need a squeegee. Just using Ajax, not mixing it with anything? Interesting. I'm a little leery about any soaps now, any dish soaps. The only reason that I'm giving 7th Gen a chance right now is because it's like how clean it is on the bottle, but I don't know. I really wish other people would take care of this. I mean, they are. Like, Geo's finally getting their own slip made. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I never had the issue with Dawn either. I think it's just a film issue, and then because of that, their natural gut reaction is going to... Like, here's what they told me. They said the common denominator seemed to be Dawn. So this was when they released Apex and Carbon Plus. They said most people had the film rolling back off of the windshield in the 50 and 70% ranges, and that was basically just ever on windshields. And those people are also adding Dawn, and they seem to use a lot of soap. I've used other things though, and backed off on the soap, and done lots of samples, and I still can't get it to fucking work. So, I don't know. I've never had a problem with C2, never had a problem with Pro Classic, never had a problem with Pro Nano. Ajax isn't as harsh as Dawn. Yeah, so one thing they did mention too was tinters have been using Dawn for a long time, but there's definitely different versions of Dawn. So like there's Dawn Ultra, which is just like super concentrated, hyper aggressive detergent. So he's like, I don't know for sure, but there's a lot of scary ingredients, so just be careful. So if it's just like me here doing my thing, that's one thing. But then when it's put out, like when somebody goes, hey, what are you using? That's where the shit gets like real scary. Because then all of a sudden it's not me just using it anymore. It's like, it's a lot of people. I feel some grit. But I am a little maxed out on everything. So I don't know who I gotta talk to, who I gotta find. That's why I feel like it's the films company's issue. Like, talk to some chemists, understand, find what ingredients you can use, work on something. They shouldn't knock the Dawn for glue if the other lines are working. Yeah, so like, you know, okay, all right, I'll try it. Oh, nope, still same problem. And then they hear like overall feedback from people, and they're like, it seems to have helped our other dealers. And it's like, oh, okay. I haven't talked to those dealers. Fair enough. But then why the hell is the result exactly the same for me? I have no idea. My only like stretch of the imagination thing right now is like, maybe you could fix it by rolling the film the other way when it's made. I think that's a stretch, but maybe. Maybe because it's a ceramic, it's got a little memory in the roll, and it just naturally wants to then roll back the other way. Because that's the way that it's rolled off the line. I don't know. That's like my last thought. Oops. Try Ajax. I might give it a shot. I'm kind of at the point though. I'm a little gun shy. I might give it a try though, and just like keep it in the back. What are you using? And then change the topic. Because I've got 2 years of recommending Dawn at this point. But I never said which kind. Actually, I might have said which kind. Probably a lot. So what they also said was any problems that you're going to have with the film would probably exhibit within like the first month. Other than that, you're generally fine. $16 a gallon from Dollar Tree, $60 a gallon when they make a new slip. Yeah, that's accurate. But I'll tell you what, inventory is no joke, man. I can't even tell you how they do that other than just like giant infrastructure scale. So when you are a tint company selling a chemical, you are getting that chemical made, you're getting it delivered to your warehouse, and then you're shipping it to customers. When you're getting distributors involved, you have another chain in there. When you are a grocery store and you're selling soap, there's like 10 million other grocery stores around that are all selling the same type of things. So it's like there's just way more made, way more available, way more at local warehouses. So it's scaled to the point where that brings the cost down a lot. But yeah, you're 100% right. It might cost them that much to make, but the logistics of the rest of it then become a big pain in the ass too, because you're dealing with liquids and stuff. So margins just have to be there to make it work. So at the end of the day, it might be soap, quote unquote, but it's just not made to the same scale, so different rules start to apply. Or, like in the case of some of the other products, there's just other products that you're going to order alongside with certain things, so that brings the overall price of everything down. Nice. They just need to take the same Johnson & Johnson and make it a tad bit more slippery. So what you're saying is, you take the same thing and then reformulate it. Which is easier than starting from scratch. I'm not even going to begin to think about all the little hiccups. I can tell you, things like that can sound way easy until you start digging into it, and then you realize, like, oh, it's not that simple. It might be. It might just be a matter of getting in touch with the right people. But who knows? Maybe it could be as simple as like these products are manufactured for children and we have certain quality standards associated with it. And we have inspectors that come in to ensure those quality standards. And then next thing you know, trying to produce an automotive chemical on the same line all of a sudden is not approved. I don't know. Just something like that. Who knows? Just post it in the group. Please clear my post. I'm tinting, man. Ask a mod. I'll get to it. I'll get to it once I'm done with the stream. You should be on pre-approval anyways. So whenever somebody makes a post in the group, and I'm on the app, I always try and pre-approve everybody. It's an extra button to do it, but I don't care. I'm just filtering out spam. You have a Tint post, pre-approval. So that's nice because, you know, it filters out the spammers, and then when somebody actually has an urgent post or just something else, like rather than having to wait to get it approved every time, it should automatically be posted. So if it's not, I don't know. But I'll definitely, when I see it, I'll make sure that it gets there. It should be already, though. We get about 100 posts a day, though. We're pre-approving, at least I am. I'm pre-approving people all fucking day long. About like 600 to 700 people join a week right now. That changes. It's been as high as 1,000, and we get at least 100 posts every day. I was doing an F-150, couldn't get the sides to lock down. If it's not locking down on the sides, like just make sure, one, they're cut pretty slim. So you want to make sure that those edges are basically, like, use the space that you have available, but make like you cut the sides so they're not overlapping any trim. So it's just fixed down here. And then it's just a matter of your, it should, like, if you're having problems with your dryer sheets or whatnot, you can wet your hand down, lift the film up, put a little water line here. That'll make it stick. Now that this conversation popped, what was the deal a few weeks ago with a bunch of messages? Oh, that's, okay, so new Facebook feature. We're beta testing basically new feature. So they've rolled out a super cool feature that I've been wanting to see for a long time. So if anybody, there's platforms that you can use for real-time discussion, like obviously Facebook Messenger, but there's also like group real-time discussions like Discord. And so essentially what Facebook has done has brought in those features where you can have voice chat rooms and you can have text chat rooms for the group. So, you know, rather than connecting on Messenger, you can go to the group or your Messenger account and you can just talk with other tinters in the group. That is really, really cool. I'm super happy to see that. So our group is so big at this point that they've done a ton of testing, but what they didn't realize was there's this bug that for whatever reason, the group rooms are limited to 1,000 people. But when you join a group, it doesn't, and you like, let's say you close the app. You don't leave the group. You stay in the group until you decide to leave. So it's like people are constantly joining and nobody's leaving. So then what happened is it got to 1,000 people, and it was sending notifications out to random people that never joined the chat. So when they went to the chat to leave the group, it would say the group is full, and then they couldn't leave it. And next thing you know, everybody's messenger is just completely blowing up with the group posts or the group chat. I've been able to talk to a dev. So I let him know as soon as that was happening. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but people are freaking out. He told me they had dozens of Facebook devs in real time fixing the issue, which was kind of cool. So on the one hand, I could have deleted the chat. On the other hand, I wanted to allow them to also identify and fix the bug. So sorry for the inconvenience, but I let that much happen. It was only a couple hours, though. They got it fixed. I'm sure it was super annoying for a couple of hours, but at the same time, I'm like, I really like this feature. I want them to figure out what's going on. And also, it's super cool that I actually have a connection to a Facebook dev team now. So if there's possibilities for new features and stuff like that, they've already, like, he's already asked me. He's like, hey, if there's anything that you think of, let me know. So the devs said they're incredibly sorry about the problem. They didn't like people to have to deal with that, and they're like, how can we make it up? And I couldn't come up with anything, but they're very sad. Or they're very apologetic, so. Oh, yeah, I hate that. Got me pissed off. They say sorry. Oh, I should probably look at this too, by the way. So yeah, everything's all touched up. This one's all ready to go. So this is 5% on the back window, and then we're 20% on all the rest of it. Looks good. Turned out nice. What percent? Oh, you already asked. 20 and 5. Cool, my mic actually didn't die. I thought it was going to. See, and then I put my headset down. And then this is when I forget to plug it back in before I leave. But if we go to the Facebook group, I'll show you guys really quick. As soon as it loads. Whoa. Okay, that shut off. Maybe it's actually dead. All right, let's see here. I didn't have to see, your post is already up there. Oh. No, this doesn't seem safer. I wouldn't say this seems safer at all. The Ultra Dawn Super Degreaser, like, I've been told don't use degreasers. So that's kind of the problem. I can't try that one. But anyways, so if you go to, let me switch to my main account here. So if you go to general chat, like these are all the chat groups. So if you're on the app, you just click the little sidebar. You go to general chat. Anybody want 10% off their Lexan order? Interesting. Oh, sorry. My head's blocking it. I don't know why I put it there. There. So this will pop up in like a regular chat thing on your phone. But yeah, you have the option to just talk with other people in the group, in the rooms. It's pretty awesome. Also, the group is like crazy big right now. Here's the link to the group too if you guys never been there. What is this? I don't know why it's telling me that either. I remember last summer the group was 35K, now it's 57K. It's growing super quick. Yeah, it's nuts. Oh no, down. This always is red though. I never understand that. And all I can see is like custom. Can I go back farther? Oh, I can't go back that far. How far back can I go? All right, let's look. Update. No, custom, October 5th to September 4th. Here, update. Did it do it? July 20th. Comments. July. What happened here? June 15th. That might have been when we finally got rid of all the spam, and then we did post approval, so that would explain that drop down there. But yeah, it's just a massively busy group. I wish they had a better graph than this, though. Posts over time. Where's members? Jesus Christ. It's been crazy. Congrats on that, though. That's quite a large group, regardless of that type of group. I know. That's what's insane. Just how big that the entire group has gotten just in general. It doesn't matter that it's a tinting group. It's just like, oh, wow, this is just massive for a group. So it's super cool that even in the window tinting specific topic that we've been able to grow such a big, helpful community. So it's a great resource to just join and keep an eye out for problems. That's what I really enjoy most about it. Is like as a business, that's what I enjoy a lot about it, is just if there's a problem that somebody's had, I know what to look out for now. It's such a massive heads up. It's not what I like most about it, but it's definitely a huge win for everybody. I'm sorry for the person that posted and like had a bad day, but oh my God. Does Facebook give nice plaques like YouTube? No. No, not that I know of. Also entertaining. The bickering is fun to watch from afar. Yeah. Yeah, there's some posts that definitely just you watch the world burn. It's probably the nicest way I can say it. You know, like somebody throws 5% on a windshield. Somebody takes off the mirror on a Ram, and then like people are like, "Oh my God, why would you do that?" Like they're super triggered, and it's just going back and forth and back and forth, and it's just like, all right, some of those ones I'm just gonna let them have at it. But there's points when it gets like if somebody makes like a nice post, or it's just like, "Hey, I got a question," and it's like, "Shut up, you idiot," then I'll get rid of that person. But there's some, I think, healthy discussions that happen. Plotter versus hand cut World War III. Oh, yeah, 100%. Look how fast I got this card done. Hand cut all day. It's weird how there's teams. I don't care. It's just do what works best for your business. But people get so polarized on it. They have to have a side. They have to have a team. Team top load, team bottom load. It's like, just do what you like. You should do a shorts channel that cuts up highlights of your streams into 10 to 30-second videos. I would, but it's too much work right now. I've been trying to post some of those highlighted type, not for my streams, but make videos like that for the Facebook group. That's been a pretty good thing. Alrighty, so I gotta deliver this car. It's a little later in the day, but everything's all set here. So big shout out to RGC for the 10. I greatly appreciate it. Hope you guys have fun. Hope you guys had fun today. I realized that my phone's been on silent. That's probably not a good thing. It's been awfully quiet here. Alrighty, I got some stuff I gotta do. Y'all have a good one. Thank you for hanging out. Bye. Matt, now that you're rich, I have a car recommendation. Just tinted yesterday a Porsche Taycan. I can't afford a Porsche Taycan. All my money's wrapped up in tools. Try. No, it's not. Buy. Gotta buy inventory. All my money gone.